Vaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4. Vidur approaches Maitreya. Text 1. Utta uvacha atatet anugnata bhuktva pitva cha varunim daya vibramshitam nana durukte marma praspushahu.
Thereafter, all of them, the descendants of Vrishni and Bhoja, being permitted by the Brahmanas, partook of the remnants of prasad and also drank liquor made of rice. By drinking, they all became delirious and bereft of knowledge. They touched the cause of each other's hearts with harsh words.
Text 2. Tesham Vairaya Doshena Vishamikrita Chetasam Nimlo Jati Ravav Asid Venunam Iva Mardanam.
As by the friction of bamboos destruction takes place, so also at sunset, by the interaction of the faults of intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced and destruction took place.
Text 3. Bhagavan Swatmamayaya Katim Tam Avalokya Saha Saraswatim Upasprishya Vrikshamulam Upavisat.
The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, after foreseeing the end of his family, by his internal potency, went to the bank of the river Saraswati, sipped water, and sat down underneath a tree.
Text 4. Aham Chokto Bhagavata Prapannarti Hare Naha Vatarin Tvam Prayahiti Swakulam Sanjihirshuna.
The Lord is the vanquisher of the distresses of one who is surrendered unto him. Thus, he who desired to destroy his family took me previously to go to Badarikashrama.
Text 5. Tatapi tat api pretam janan aham arindama prishtato magamam partur pada vishleshana kshamaha.
Yet, in spite of my knowing his desire to destroy the dynasty, O Arindama, Vidur, I followed him because it was impossible for me to bear separation from the lotus feet of the Master.
Text 6. Adraksham ekam asinam vichinvantayitam patim Sriniketam saraswatyam kritakaitam akaitanam.
Thus following, I saw my patron and master, Lord Sri Krishna, sitting alone and deeply thinking, taking shelter on the bank of the river Saraswati, although he is the shelter of the goddess of fortune.
Text 7. Shyamavadatam virajam prasadarunalochanam viditam pita shomambarena cha.
The Lord's body is blackish, but is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, and very, very beautiful. His eyes are always peaceful, and they are reddish like the rising morning sun. I could immediately recognize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his four hands, different symbolic representations, and yellow silk garments.
Text 8. Vama urav adishritya dakshinangri sororuham apashritar pakashvatam akrisham tyakva pipalam.
The Lord was sitting, taking rest against a young banyan tree, with his right lotus foot on his left thigh, and although he had left all household comforts, he looked quite cheerful in that posture.
Text 9. Tasmin maha bhagavato dvaipayanna suritsaka lokan anucharan siddha asasada yadrichaya.
At that time, after traveling in many parts of the world, Maitreya, a great devotee of the Lord and a friend and well-wisher of the great sage Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, reached that spot out of his own perfect accord.
Text 10. Tasyanuraktasya munirmukantaha pramodabhavanata kandarasya ashrinvato mam anuragaha sa samikshaya vishramayannuvacha.
Maitreya Muni was greatly attached to him, the Lord, and he was listening in a pleasing attitude with his shoulder lowered, with a smile and a particular glance upon me, Having allowed me to rest, the Lord spoke as follows.
Text 11. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Vedahamantarmanishipsitam te tatami yattat duravapamanyahi satre pura vishmasrijam vashunam matsiddhikame navaso tvayeshtaha.
O Vasu, I know from within your mind what you desired in the days of yore when the Vasus and other demigods responsible for expanding the universal affairs performed sacrifices. You particularly desired to achieve my association. This is very difficult for others to obtain, but I award it unto you.
Text 12. Sa esha sato charamo asatitaste ananugraho yat yanmam nilokan raha utsrijantam tishtya ditishvan vishatanuvritya.
O honest one, your present life is the last and the supermost, because in this term of life you have been awarded my ultimate favor. Now you can go to my transcendental abode, Vaikuntha, by leaving this universe of conditioned living entities.
Text,
Your visit to me in this lonely place, because of your pure and unflinching devotional service, is a great boon for you.
text 13. Pura maya proktamacayanaphye padme nishannayat mamadi sarge nanam paraman mahima vapasam yat suryo bhagavatam vadante.
O Uddhava, in the lotus millennium, in the days of yore, at the beginning of the creation, I spoke unto Brahma, who is situated on the lotus that grows out of my navel, about my transcendental glories, which the great sages described as Srimad Bhagavatam.
Text 14. Ityadrutokta paramhasya pamsaha pratikshanan ugraha pachanoham snehottaro ma skalitaksharastam munchan chucha pranjalir apapase.
Uddhava said, O Vidur, when I was thus favored at every moment by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and addressed by him with great affection, my words failed in tears, and the hairs on my body erupted. After smearing my tears, I, with folded hands, spoke like this.
Text 15. Kodveshate pada saroja pacham surdalapariteshu chatushvapiha tatapi naham pravanomi puman bhavat padambo janishe vadotsukaha.
O my Lord, devotees who engage in the transcendental loving service of your lotus feet have no difficulty in achieving anything within the realm of the four principles of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation.
Text,
But, O Great One, as far as I am concerned, I have preferred only to engage in the loving service of your lotus feet.
text 16. Karmyanyani hasya bhavo bhavasyate durgashrayotaripayat palayanam kalatmano yat pramata yutashamaha svatpanrate kityati dirvidamiha.
My Lord, even the learned sages become disturbed in their intelligence when they see that your greatness engages in fruitive work, although you are free from all desires, that you take birth alone, that you take birth although you are unborn, that you flee out of fear of the enemy and take shelter in a fort, although you are the controller of invincible time, and that you enjoy householder life surrounded by many women, although you enjoy in yourself.
Text 17. Mantreshu mamba upahurya tat yatvam akuntita kanda satatma bodha priche prabhu mukta iva pramattas tanno manomo yaiti vadeva.
Oh, my Lord, your eternal self is never divided by the influence of time, and there is no limitation to your perfect knowledge. Thus, you were sufficiently able to consult with yourself, yet you called upon me for consultation, as if bewildered, although you are never bewildered. And this act of yours bewilders me.
Text 18. Nanam param svatmaraha prakasham provachakasmai bhagavan samagram apishamam no grahananaya partur vadanjasayat Rijinam Tarema.
My Lord, kindly explain to us, if you think us competent to receive it, that transcendental knowledge which gives enlightenment about yourself and which you explained before to Brahmaji.
That's it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji and Mataji, for the beautiful recitations. Absolutely excellent. Thank you. I was just looking at the participants list. I don't think Shyam Hari Prabhuji has joined. So Jyoti Mataji, would you be able to contact Prabhuji, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes, I'm on the call. Just one second.
Thank you so much. So dear devotees, a warm welcome to today's session. While waiting for Prabhuji to join us, we can recite the I'll recite the Mangala Charan prayer and you can join me behind muted mics. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you so much. So I wonder if Prabhuji has joined us yet. Okay, so Prabhuji has not joined us yet. So let's see what verses we are reading today. Indira Mataji, what verses are we reading today, please? The
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, and 3, is it?
Yeah, 1, 2, and
All
3.
right. So if Jyoti Mataji could share the verses on the screen, or we will start reading
Hare
the
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji said he didn't know he's on the list.
Oh,
He's saying it's Shripati Prabhuji, so I'm just gonna try call him.
oh, I see. So I understand we're reading verses 1, 2, and 3 today, the discussion verses. Is that right?
Yes.
So would you be able to share those verses, please, Mataji? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the purports as well. Are the purports there too?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Jyoti Mataji. So, dear devotees, let's have some volunteers. Anybody would like to read the Sanskrit and the English translation and the purport? Any volunteers? Namrata Mataji, how about you? Would you like to read, please?
Okay, Mataji, Haribol Mataji. Just 2 seconds, Mataji, because I'm just making the screen slightly bigger for my... Yeah, yes, Mataji, I can do it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Jyoti Mataji, I'm sorry. Would you put the English as well for the Sanskrit, if that's okay? Thank you, Mataji. Perfect. Haribol. Chapter 4, Vidura approaches Maitreya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 1. Uddhava Uvacha. Athate tad anugnata bhuktva pitva chavarunim taya vipraham sita gnana duruktera marma pasprushaha. Do you want me to read the English as well, Mataji? Sorry, Mataji, can you hear me? Jyoti Mataji?
Oh, yes, please, Mataji. If Jyoti
Yeah,
Mataji
okay.
could scroll up, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Krishna. Thank you. Translation. Thereafter, all of them, the descendants of Vrishni and Bhoja, being permitted by the Brahmanas, partook of the remnant of prasada and also drank liquor made of rice. By drinking, they all became delicious, and bereft of knowledge, they touched the chords of each other's hearts with harsh words. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Shri Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In ceremonies, when Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are sumptuously fed, the host partakes of the remnants of foodstuff are after the guest has given permission. So the descendants of Vrishni and Bhoja formally took permission from the Brahmanas and ate the prepared foodstuff. Kshatriyas are permitted to drink at certain occasions. So they all drank a kind of light liquor made of rice. By such drinking, they become delirious and bereft of sense, so much so that they forgot their relationship with one another and used hard words when touched the chords of each other's hearts. Drinking is so harmful that even such a highly cultured family becomes affected by intoxication and can forget themselves in a drunken state. The descendants of Vrishni and Bhoja were not expected to forget themselves in this way, but by the will of the Supreme it happened, and thus they became harsh towards one another. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Namrata Mataji. So nicely recited. Let's move on to text number 2, please. Are there any volunteers for text 2, the Sanskrit, the translation, and the purport, please? Any volunteers?
Can I read, Mataji?
Oh, yes, please. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. तेषामेर्दोषेण विस्मीकृतचेतसां निम्लोचित्रभवसि द्वेणुं निर्मुमर्दनम्. Translation. As by the friction of bamboos destruction take place, so also at sunset by the interaction of the faults of intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced and destruction took place. Purport. So can you scroll up, please? When there is a need of fire in the forest, by the will of the Supreme, it takes place due to friction among the bamboos. Similarly, the descendants of Yadu were all destroyed by the will of the Lord by the process of self-destruction, just as there is no possibility of fires occurring deep in the forest due to human effort. So also there was no power in the universe which could vanquish the descendants of the Yadu, who were protected by the Lord. The Lord wanted them to be so destroyed, and thus they obeyed his order, as indicated by the word Tad Anugyata. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Girish Prabhuji. So nicely recited. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to text 3. Who would like to read, please? Thank you.
May I, Mataji?
Sure, sure.
Bhagwan Swatma Mayaya Gatim Tam Avalokya Sa Saraswatim Upashpriya Vrakshamulam Upavisat. Translation. The personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, after foreseeing the end of his family by his internal potency, went to the bank of the river Saraswati, sipped water, and sat down underneath a tree. Purport. Can we scroll up, please, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, would you mind scrolling up, please? Jyoti Mataji? Thank you.
All the above-mentioned activities of the Yadus and Bhojas were executed by the internal potency of the Lord, because he wanted them to be dispatched to their respective abodes after he had finished his mission of descent. They were all his sons and grandsons, and were given complete protection by the paternal affection of the Lord. How they could be vanquished in the presence of the Lord is answered in this verse. Everything was done by the Lord himself. Swatma Mayaya. The Lord's family members were either incarnations of his plenary expansions or demigods from the heavenly planets, and thus before his departure, he separated them by his internal potency. Before being dispatched to their respective abodes, they were sent to the holy place of Prabhasa, where they performed pious activities and took food and drink to their heart's content. It was then arranged for them to be sent back to their abodes, so that others could see that the powerful Yadu dynasty was no longer in the world. In the previous verse, the word Anujnata, indicating that the whole sequence of events was arranged by the Lord, is significant. These particular pastimes of the Lord are not a manifestation of his external energy or material nature. Such an exhibition of his internal potency is eternal, and therefore one should not conclude that the Yadus and Bhojas died in a drunken state in an ordinary fratricidal war. Shijiva Goswami comments on these incidents as magical performances. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Saroj Mataji. So nicely recited. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I understand that Amogha Prabhu is going to join us shortly, and he should be with us very soon. I'm just reading the message I've received. Okay, in the meantime, while waiting for Prabhuji to join us, maybe we can all unmute and do the Maha Mantra. All of you can unmute, please, and we'll do the Maha Mantra while waiting for Amogha Prabhuji to join us.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. How nice of you to join us. Sorry to put you in this on the spot like this at the last minute, because there was some slight misunderstanding as to who was going to facilitate the class tonight. But it's so kind of you, Prabhuji, to step in and help us. So I'll hand you over now, and you can take over the class, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So verses are 1, 2, 3, yes?
1, 2, 3, and I've done the Mangala Charan prayer already, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृणुतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्त्वयः भद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृसतां नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी एते चां शकलाः पुंसः कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयम् इन्द्रारिव्याकुलं लोकं मृड्यन्ति युगे युगे इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्मसंहितम् उत्तमश्लोकचरितं चकार भगवान् ऋषिः निःश्रेयसाय लोकधन्यं स्वस्तये नमः कृष्णे सुदामोपकते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह खलु न श्रुषामेष पुराणार्कोऽधिनोदितः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये अथ विश्वेषु विश्वात्मन् विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेशमे स्नेहपाशमिमं च निधृं पाण्डुषु त्वयि मेनन्यविषया मतिर्मदपदे सकृत् रतिमुद्वाह तदद्धा गङ्गेव भूमुदन्वति श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण सखा विष्णुशुभावनिध्रुग्राजन्योंशधनानपवर्गवीर्य गोविन्द गोद्विजसुराटहरावतार योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते 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 तुलयामलवेनापि न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं भगवत्सङ्गीसङ्गस्य मच्चेनं किमुतशः पुनश्च भूयाद्भगवत्यनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गश्च तदाश्रयेषु महस्त्वयां यामुप्यां सृष्टिं मैत्रस्य सर्वत्र नमो द्विजेभ्यः ॐ नमो भगवते राधा गोविन्दाय नमः हरे कृष्ण Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity this evening. And though it is a busy day, but for Srimad Bhagavatam, we should not miss any opportunity. Okay, so we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. I shall share my screen. Okay, so in the last session, we have seen the summary of third chapter, where Uddhava is remembering Krishna's pastimes, which are outside of Vrindavana. So, and in that last statements, like Krishna was winding up his pastimes, and before that, he wanted to reduce the burden of the Yadu's families. Yadu family is so strong, no one can defeat them. So, by thinking that, and Krishna's mind, so the sages, inclusive of the great sages, so they have cursed when the Krishna children, Samba and other children, they are making some kind of fun with the sages. Sages cursed them that this Yadu family is going to be destroyed soon. So later on, Krishna, knowing that within few months of time, Krishna has taken all of those people, all of the Yadu families, many of who are all the incarnations of the demigods especially, but some of the devotees, they stayed in the Dwaraka, and Krishna and Balaram and many of them, they have gone to Prabhasa Kshetra, and then there they have worshipped all the Brahmanas and giving so many clothes. Annam cha guru rasam tebhyo datta bhagavadarpanam go viprarda asavaha suraha pranemuhu bhuvi murdabhihi. So they have worshipped Brahmanas by giving annam cha uru rasam tebhyo, so giving all the palatable food and clothes, hiranyam rajitam sayam vasamsi ajena kambalan, giving the clothes and everything, yanam rata nibhan kanya dhara mrutti karimapi. So in such a way, they have worshipped all the Brahmanas. Now today in the fourth chapter, so this chapter name is Vidura approaches Maitreya. So here Uddhava is going to suggest Vidura. So now Vidura is hearing all from the Uddhava. Now Uddhava is going to suggest Vidura that you go and hear from the Maitreya Rishi. So Maitreya Rishi and Uddhava, they both have heard from Krishna when Krishna was departing from this material world. Okay, so likewise now Uddhava is continuing that Krishna's pastime. Okay, so we are in the first third canto, chapter 4 and first verse. Uddhava uvacha adate tad anujnata bhuktva pitva cha varunim taya vibhramsita jnana duruktaihi marma pasprushuhu atate tad anujnata. So Uddhava is saying, thereafter all the Yadavas, they and tad anujnata, and then by taking the permission from the Brahmanas, so now they have worshipped all the Brahmanas. Now they're taking the permission from the Brahmanas. What they did, bhuktva pitva cha varunim, and after bhuktva, after partaking, they have taken the prasadam, and then pitva, drinking, and varunim. What is that? Varunim. Varunim is the liquor made from kind of rice beverages. They have taken that one. Taya vibhramsita jnana. And then after that, Taya, by that Vibhramshita, jnana, being bereft of knowledge. So once one is intoxicated, then his knowledge or smriti does not work properly. So because of that warning, taya vibramsita jnana, they being bereft of knowledge, what happened? Duruktaihi marma pasprushuhu, with harsh words. With the harsh words, marma, the core of the heart. Marma pasprushuhu, they have touched in such a way each and everyone. They have it starts with the Krutavarma and the Satviki. So because of the intoxication, they have started those conversations, and then those words are very piercing the heart. So that's why one should not speak. It should be anudvekaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat swadhyayah. So it is called Vangmayam Tap Uchyate. That is called austerity of the speech. If we miss the austerity of speech, then the words are coming and pierce the heart of the opposite person. So such kind of people, by speaking such kind of words, they will be punished by the divine. Daiva Vadan. Okay, so here, atate tad anujnata bhaktva pitva chavaruni taya vibramsita jnana dhuruktaihi marma pasprushuhu. So translation for this verse. Thereafter, all of them, the descendants of Vrishni and Bhoja, being permitted by the Brahmanas, partook of the remnants of prasada and also drank liquor made of rice. By drinking, they all became delirious and bereft of knowledge. They touched the cores of each other's hearts with harsh words. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the ceremonies where Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are sumptuously fed, the host partakes of the remnants of foodstuff after the guest has given permission. So the descendants of Vrishni and Bhoja formally took permission from the Brahmanas and ate the prepared foodstuff. Kshatriyas are permitted to drink at certain occasions. So they all drank a kind of light liquor made of rice. By such drinking, they became delirious and bereft of sense. So much so that they forgot their relationship with one another and used harsh words which touched the cores of each other's hearts. Drinking is so harmful that even such a highly cultured family becomes affected by intoxication and can forget themselves in a drunken state. The descendants of Vrishni and Bhoja were not expected to forget themselves in this way, but by the will of the Supreme it happened, and thus they became harsh words one another. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here, learning from this particular verse and the situation here, uh, Brahma, he says to Lord Shiva, saying some of the verses, saying that one should not speak harshly to each other. And Lord Shiva also speak to Parvati Devi, how one should be speaking. If one is, especially if he is a family member, अतारिभिः न विदिते सिलीमुखैः सेते अर्जिताङ्गो हृदयेन धूयताम् स्वानां यत वक्रदियां धुरुक्तिभिः दिवानिशिं तप्पिति मर्मताडितः. So if the enemies are using the arrows to pierce the heart, ataribihi na vyatite silimukaihi, and that arrows are piercing the heart by the enemies, then that is not more painful. Na vyatite silimukaihi seti adhitango hrudayena dhuyeta. Even that is piercing the heart, it is not painful because swanam yata vakradiyam druktibihi. Swanam is the own relatives, the family members to whom we see each other, sleep in the same house. So such kind of people, the close relatives, especially husband and wife, father and son, and mother and son, and the family members, if they are using Swanam Diya Vakradiyam Druktibihi, if they are speaking the harsh words, Divanisham, day and night, Tapyati, they suffer. Marmataditaha, it is piercing in the core of heart which cannot be seen. In such a way, one should not be speaking the harsh words. These are all because of their more attachment to the material activities and desires. So Brahma says that Prakrtiya karma drusho durasayaha parandhrukt parodayena hrudrujo anisham parodayena hrudrujo anisham. Ruja is the very angry. So because of keeping angry in their heart, if they're speaking because of the karma drusho durasayaha, which is the unlawful desires. Durasayaha. Parandruktaihi vidhanti arundhada. Parandruktaihi. They speak the harsh piercing words. Vidhanti arundhada. Very harsh words and piercing in the heart. Tan ma avadit. Daivadan bhavadvidaha. So even though people are speaking like that, one should not be punishing them. Tan ma avadit. Brahma says to Shiva, when Shiva has punished all the Daksha and all the demigods who are not giving the share to Lord Shiva, and also they were caused for the Sati's leaving her body. At that time, Brahma comes to while trying to pacify Lord Shiva. Oh Lord Shiva, you are a so exalted personality. So such kind of people, even though they are speaking, we should not be taking it very seriously as well. Tan ma avati Daivavadan bhavat vidaha, they will be punished by the divine. And we should not be acting like the exalted personalities to take any punishment or any actions on such kind of people. Because of yasmin yada pushkaranavamaya durantaya sprustadiha pradrushaha, by the illusory energy of the Lord, people are acting like that, engaging in the karmic activities. Even though kurvanti tatra hi anukampaye krupam, न साधो दैवबलात् कृते kramam. Na sadhavo daivabalat krite kramam. So if he is a devotee of the Lord, he should not take those things very seriously with so much of compassion. Kurvanti tatrihi anukampaye kurupam. We need to show the mercy on such kind of people because they are already punished by the divine, by their words and activities. Na sadhavo daivabalat krite kramam. And devotees should not take any actions at all. So these are the statements of Brahma. And Lord Shiva also says that if he is a family member is speaking like that, it will pierce the heart more than anything, than the arrows of an enemy. That's why Krishna says, Anudvekaram Vakyam Satyam Prihitam Chayat. And here, especially the Varuni drink, but it is making all the people here, especially it starts these conversations between Satyaki and Krutavarma. So initially Satyaki, he mentions that Krutavarma took part in killing of the Draupadi's children in the night. So that is what Satyaki started speaking. And later on, Krutavarma started speaking to Satyaki, saying that even though Bhurishirava, he was in the meditation, though after losing one hand, and you have taken one sword and you have killed him. And Krutavarma says to Satyaki, that conversations goes and they kill each other. Immediately Satyaki killed the Krutavarma, and then later on Pradyumna comes, and then other side so many people come and fight with Satyaki. Pradyumna is there, and then later on in that fighting, each and everyone they kill each other. Methodic, and Arjuna says sometimes they act as a friends, sometimes they act as a enemies, all because of the Lord's divine energy, external energy of the Lord. Methodignanti bhutani Bhavayanti Chayanmitaha. Sometimes they act as friends, sometimes they act as enemies. So this is Arjuna's realization when he was relaying the message to Yudhishthira. So here, this is the Pasprushuhu. These are the touch of the heart with harsh words. So likewise, Buddha was saying, we shall move to the next verse. तेषां मैरेय दोषेण विषमीकृतचेतसं विम्लोचतिरवावासीद् वेणूनामिव मर्दनम्. So here, how those people have died, and here with Uddhava is saying, Tesham Maireya Doshena. So all of them, Maireya Doshena, because the intoxicating by these falls. So that's why no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, no meat eating. These are the 4 things. And also the 5th one is the unnecessary accumulation of the wealth. So the Kali Purusha, he lives in these 5 places. So here the intoxication is the one of it. That is the Tesha Mairena Doshena, Maireya Doshena, because of the fault of the intoxication. Vishmikruta Chetasam, Vishmikruta, and became unbalanced. Vishmikruta Chetasam, of those of whom the minds, so their minds are not in the balanced state now. Because of the Tesha Maire Doshena, Vishmikruta Chetasam. And what happened? Nimlochati Ravavasid. Nimlochati Ravavasid. So they set the sun, and then Asid takes place like Venunam iva Maddanam. Venu is the bamboos. Iva Maddanam. Because of this bamboo trees, when they're rubbing each other due to the harsh, strong winds, then immediately there is a fire. Because of the fire, the entire forest will be completely burned to the ashes. So likewise, Nimlochiti Rabavasi, and then they have been sets the sun. It is comparing like kind of an analogy. So Tesha Mairena Dhoshena Vishimikruta Chetasam Nimlochati Ravavasit Verunamiva Madhanam. Translation: as by the friction of the bamboos destruction takes place, so also at sunset, by the interaction of the falls of the intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced and destruction took place. Vidaya Vairam Yata Swasuno Yatanalam. It is also mentioned like a Krishna made the Kauravas and Pandavas, they fight each other just like this. Mito Vadena Upadato Niraidaha. So that Krishna, and here also similarly within the same family, this destruction took place. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So when there is a need of fire in the forest, by the will of the Supreme, it takes place due to friction among the bamboos. Similarly, the destruction of Yadus were also destroyed by the will of the Lord by the process of self-destruction. Just as there is no possibility of fires occurring deep in the forest due to human effort, so also there was no power in the universe which could vanquish the descendants of Yadu, who were protected by the Lord. The Lord wanted them to be so destroyed, and thus they obeyed his order, as indicated by the word Tad Anujnata. Tad Anujnata. So Tad Anujnata is after indicated by the word Tad Anujnata. Likewise, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here again, Yevam Nrupanam Chithibar Janmanam Akshohinibihi Parurutta Tejasam Vidaya Vairam Swasuno Yathanalam Mito Vadena Uparato Niraidaha. Like the Krishna, after making the so much of burden of the earth was reduced, he made like that because of it was so many people. Now also, every country is accumulating so many people in the military. What is happening between the countries? They're fighting each other for no reason, just ego between two leaders. They're killing each other, reducing the burden of the earth. So likewise, at that time also, it happened between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. All these miscreants have been assembled at one place. And later on, again, Yadu family, though they are not enemies to each other, just because of the Swasanoyata Analam, by the friction of the bamboos. Likewise, within the same family, the friction took place. Likewise, Prabhupada is explaining because of the Varunim, Tadataya Vibramsita Jnana, their knowledge got bereft of the knowledge. So likewise, Prabhupada is explaining here. That's why intoxication is also one of the restrictions. And then next verse, we shall move to the next verse. So, and then after all of his family being destroyed in front of Krishna himself, what Krishna has done. So that was the way saying to Vidura now. भगवान् स्व आत्ममायाया गतिं ताम् अवलोक्य सहं सरस्वतीम् उपस्पृश्य वृक्षमूलम् उपाविशत् भगवान् स्वात्ममायया and Swa Atmamaya, so the personality of Godhead by his internal potency, Gatim Tam Avalokya Saha, and Gatim Tam, and he is foreseeing all these things, whatever is happening. Gatim is at the end, Tam, that Avalokya Saha, and foreseeing all these things. And what Krishna did, Saraswatim Upasprushya, Saraswatim Upasprushya, the river Saraswati, after sipping water, Upasprushya, Vrukshamulam Upavishat, he sat down at the foot of a tree. Vrukshamulam Upavishat. So this Upasprushya is whenever we are trying to do, for example, this is for the purificatory purposes. When we are chanting, first of all, we touch the water for the purificatory processes. And as soon as come to the, if we do not have much time, then one will be quickly just to rinse the mouth, wash hands and legs and the face, and then start doing the prayers. It's a quick thing. Otherwise, generally taking the bath in usual times. Okay, so likewise, Uddhava is remembering. So Krishna went to a tree and he sipped the water from the Saraswati river and sat down underneath a tree. So Bhagavan Swa Atmamayaya Gatim Tam Avalokya Saha Saraswatim Upaspurasya Vruksha Moolam Upavishet. The personality of Godhead Lord Krishna, after forcing the end of his family by his internal potency, went to the bank of the river Saraswati, sipped the water, and sat down underneath a tree. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All the above mentioned activities of the Yadus and Bojas were executed by the internal potency of the Lord because he wanted them to be dispatched to their respective abodes after he had finished his mission of descent. They were all his sons and grandsons and were given complete protection by the paternal affection of the Lord. How they could be vanquished in the presence of the Lord is answered in this verse. Everything was done by the Lord himself, Swatma Maya. So the Lord's family members were either incarnations of the plenary expansions or demigods from the heavenly planets. And thus, before his departure, he separated them by his internal potency. Before being dispatched to their respective abodes, they were sent to the holy place of Prabhasa, where they performed pious activities and took food and drink to their heart's content. It was then arranged for them to be sent back to their abodes so that others could see that the powerful Yadu dynasty was no longer in the world. In the previous verse, the word Anujñata, indicating that the whole sequence of events was arranged by the Lord, is significant. These particular pastimes of the Lord are not a manifestation of his external energy or material nature. Such an exhibition of his internal potency is eternal. And therefore, one should not conclude that Yadus and Bojas died in a drunken state in an ordinary fratricidal war. Sri Jiva Goswami comments on these incidents as magical performances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here again, Srila Prabhupada is explaining. So here, when there's Yadu family is fighting, Krishna also took part for a little while, because in front of Krishna they have also killed Pradyumna. That time Krishna also participated. He took those the steeds which were grown out of the iron powder, which has the iron rod. Samba has given birth to the iron rod. That iron rod was made into the powder and then merged into this, submerged into the waters, and then that has given to raise the iron steed kind of grass. So they have taken this grass and killed each other. But here in this particular incident, Krishna led all these things. So the events was arranged by the Lord is significant, the sequence of events. So Krishna foretold that the Dwaraka is going to be sunken in the water, and they all needs to go to the Prabhasa Kshetra. So those things, and also later on, he also spoke to Daruka as well in front of Daruka. Later on, when this all the family got destroyed, and in front of Daruka, Krishna's divine chariot and horses, they are just going to the air in front of his Daruka. And then Krishna says to him that, "Oh, Daruka, do not get bewildered. It is all my energies, by my internal energy. So you always engage yourself in the devotional service, then only you would understand." So these are all Krishna's internal. Sambhavami Atmamaya Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Chadushkrutam Dharma Samstapanardhaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So I appear now. Krishna's task is mostly completed here. Now that's why Krishna is arranging all these things and reducing the burden of that. Okay, so that is why I stop here due to the time. So we have got bhajan at 8:40. So 3 more minutes. I request dear devotees, if you got any questions or you wanted to share anything, kindly share or kindly ask any questions. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. And once again, sincere apologies for asking you to step in at the last minute. What a wonderful class. Hari Bol. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Medanur Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very beautifully explained, all clear. So, Prabhuji, we okay to do the Damodar Ashtakam now, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Haribol. Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, for today we have our dear Shabani Mataji singing the Damodar Ashtakam. But before she sings, we have our dear Jyoti Mataji who will be doing the English recitation of Damodar Ashtakam. So, Jyoti Mataji, whenever you're ready, Haribol. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I made you host and now I can't share my screen. Please, could you make me host again, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Then I can share the Damodar Ashtakam.
In this one, in the participant, you can select a person and make as the co-host. Co-host also can do that one.
Okay, yes, I done it.
So yeah, I did.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. To the translation, to the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who I, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter, and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda. But who has been caught from behind by her who ran after him with greater speed, to that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances. Text 2. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. Text 3. By such childhood pastimes as these, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar, who hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to keep all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon, which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Balagopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use of me of any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord. Be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodara, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvara, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby, tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar, in the same way, please give to me your own Prema Bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Yashoda Damodar ki jai, Radha Damodar ki jai. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Biolukaladavamanam Param Prishamatyanta Drutaya Gopya Rudantamuhornetrayugmam Brijantam Karam Bojayugmena Satankanetram Muhu Swasakampa Triyekanka Sitat Givam Damodaram Bhaktibadam Iti Driksvalilambir Anandakunde Swagosham Nimajantam Akyam Payantam Tadiyeshita Jishnu Bhaktar Jitvatvam Puna Prematastam Sata Vritti Vande Varam Deva Moksham Moksham Vadim Va Nachan Me Virne Ham Varista Apiha
idam te vapurnatha gopalabalam sada me manasya virastam kimane idam te mukham bhojam atyantanilair vritam kuntalesnigdha raktascha gopya मुहुचुम्बितं बिम्ब रक्तं दरां मे मनस्य वीरस्तामलं लक्ष्यलब्धे नमो देवादामोदरनन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभुदुःख जलब्धिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिहृष्टाति दीनं बतानु घनाशशामम् आत्मम् अक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजो बाधा मृत्युत्वयात्वत् त्वया मुचितो भक्ति भजो कराच तथा प्रेम भक्ति स्वकाम्ये प्रयाञ्च नमो शीघ्रहो मेस्ति दामोदरेहा नमस्तेस्तु दाम्ने स्पृददीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदायारत विश्वस्य दाम्ने नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयं प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयं प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय यशोदा दामोदर यशोदा दामोदर यशोदा दामोदर श्री राधे जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर श्री राधे जय यशोदा मैया जय नंद बाब महाराज जय यशोदा मैया जय नंद महाराज जय राधा गोकुल नंद राधा गोकुल नंद राधा गोकुल नंद श्री राधे जय सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव शिल प्रपात की जय यशोदा मोदर की जय राधा दामोदर की जय राधा गोकुल नंद की जय हरे
Hare Krishna. Very beautiful, Kirtan.
Beautiful singing, Mataji. Hari Bol. Beautiful recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so thank you so much, Mataji, for singing and reading these translations. Very beautiful. So just requesting any dear devotees, if you have got anything, any questions to ask, or we can conclude our session. So, and also just remembering that Brahmanas, when we are dealing with the Brahmanas, even the Lord, he keeps the dust of the Brahmanas on top of on his head, in his um, the crown, and the Ganges which is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord is worn by wearing by Lord Shiva, who cannot take the dust of the lotus feet of Brahmanas by anyone else. So, ye Brahmanan Maidya Kshipatvartyanta. There is one thing the Lord says, Esham Bhibarmi Aham Akanda Vikunta Yoga Maya Vibhuti Ramlangir Kiritaihi Viprantu Kona Visheheta Yadarhanambaha Sadyah Punati Sahachandra Lalama Lokan. This is one thing. So, because when we are speaking to the Brahmanas or Vaishnavas, we need to understand that it is the Lord is saying. So, ye Brahmanan Maidya Kshapato Archayantaha Tushchadhrutaha Smita Sudokshita Padmavaktraha Vanyanuraga Kalayatmaja Vadgunantaha Sambhodayanti Aham Iva Aham Upahృతastaihi. So, if Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are speaking, one has to understand that it is Lord only. Sambhodayanti Aham Iva, just I am speaking. Aham Upahృతastaihi. So likewise, one should be very alert when we are speaking to Brahmanas. Why? Because here, all the Yadu family, they have taken the permission from the Brahmanas to take the Varuni. That means it is the Lord's instruction. So just wanted to add the Brahmanas even in cursing the Jaya and Vijaya, the Brahmanas would speak. The Lord uses the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas because their words are always, it is very sharp and always become true. न भारते मिंगम रूपलक्ष्यते न वै क्वचिन्मे मनसो मुषागतिः न मे हृषिकानि पतञ्सत्पते Yenme Hudutkancha Vatadruto Harihi. Brahma says to Narada Muni, I keep always Lord in my heart and in my throat. Whatever I do, it will never go wrong. Whatever I speak, it will always be true. So I will never be deteriorated in my thinking and in my activities. Likewise, Brahma says, because the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas keep the Lord in the heart, in their throat, always speak about the Lord. We need to be very alert here. Yadu family took the permission from the Brahmanas and they took the Varuni. So that's why it is the instructions of the Lord. So that is the sequence of activities arranged by the Lord Himself. So with that one, I also conclude here. Thank you so much, dear devotees.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. You are so amazing, so knowledgeable, Prabhuji. So knowledgeable in all these scriptures and Vedic knowledge. So, dear devotees, let's all unmute and say three loud Haribols to Amogha Prabhuji. Please unmute.
Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol,
Haribol,
Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol.
Haribol.
Amogha Prabhuji ki
Jai.
jai.
Hare Krishna. It is all
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Jai.
jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you.